Hi, welcome back, viewers, to another edition of Heads Up. And see, last week, Joe, I think I thought we must have set a close to a world record for tipping out a few sports selections and a couple of Gallup selections. 100% record. I think it's our best effort ever. I think. What do you reckon?
Well, you set the ball rolling with a double-figured winner at Pukekohe. Double Happy being that horse, and
Yeah,
gee, that won well. The money had already come for it when you labelled it, but then it continued to come for the horse. I think it was basically 14s into 12s when the podcast started, closed about 8s, and didn't really look like getting beaten. And big kudos to Callum Jones, the 4 kilo apprentice who guided Double Happy home, and that was his second winner on the day. So a pretty auspicious start to his riding career.
yeah, it sure was. And you can see he was listening to Nigel Tiley's instructions about just waiting to go. Didn't go too early. Double Happy went at the right times. He knew he had a good, tough staying horse, and he'd hang on. It was a good ride, and what's the horse he rode earlier in the donut?
Diogenes.
Yeah, that's right. It was a good ride too. He waited and waited, went at the right time. So no, great 4 kg rider. He's going to be in big demand. So, and the Warriors that bounce back factor. You should write a book about the bounce back factor. That was amazing. What, 3 weeks in a row? You picked it right. So
Yeah, well, that was interesting. Probably Mr. Kearney's not quite feeling so good about life as he was this time last week prior to the Rabbitohs game, but yeah, that was a pretty easy watch, wasn't it? The Warriors never really a hope against the Rabbits, got blown off the park as we thought, and good to see the Crusaders cover the line as well for those people who were finishing their weekends multis on them, getting the job done against the Hurricanes. So, yep, good weekend all round. But as they say, Neil, you're only as good as your next tip. So we better see if we can keep that ball rolling this week for our loyal viewers.
Yeah. It was amazing the number of checks I got after that Crusaders game. Subscribers who had multis finishing on that game. So no pressure this week, but we're going to put the multi for the heads up question on your 2 sports selections. So listeners, viewers, watch out for that later on. Okay, now we've got a big meeting, a huge meeting coming up in Christchurch tomorrow at Riccarton. Got a heavy team track, bit of rain about, so it's going to be hard going. All fresh up, we all realise that. So trials form will come into it. Good riders, the right weight. Something you mentioned last week too, I've taken into account, is those horses that are well up in the ratings. Will they be fit enough to win a $15,000 race? You would think. Makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I must say, I guess I haven't done a huge amount of analysis, but there were quite a few trial performers at those Te Rapa trials leading into Pukekohe that went pretty awful at Pukekohe. So I don't know if the trial form is as reliable as you might think. I guess at Wanganui yesterday, there was a few trialists and jump out winners who did frank their form. But yeah, maybe it's just the change of surface from the sandy-based track of Te Rapa to the maybe more wetter clay-based track, swampy-based track of Pukekohe might have upset a few. But yeah, there was a few there that were travelling on the turn, and then when they let their heads go, there wasn't a lot there, and they were beaten within a stride.
Yeah, no, you're right too. One trial was a place getter, Chosen Peak, raced yesterday at Wanganui. That went really well off the Foxton trials and won there yesterday. So that's one we got out of the trials. But you're right, that Pukekohe trial form going into that meeting wasn't that reliable for those
Foxton and Wanganui are both sandy-based tracks, probably quite similar. So and a few jump out winners from Levin, very well-named horse called Hooter, winning first up at Wanganui was quite popular. The owners flew all the way down from Auckland to watch their Pride and Joy win, including cricket legend and commentator Simon Doull. So that was good to see them on track enjoying their success. And yeah, I must say, as we digress, before we start talking about Riccarton, you were at Pukekohe, I was at Wanganui, and the vibe on course was outstanding, wasn't it? At both meetings, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, everyone was happy, having a good time, good laugh, and having a few bets. And I think the turnover was pretty good, considering it was a pretty hard punting. And the bookies took a bit of that and a few horses too. So I think the punters did a bit of unexpected, actually. So that was a great day of racing and punting.
Well, all eyes, as you say, turn to Riccarton. We'll preview one race there, the 10th on the card, the Valachi Down 1600, basically an open class race. What have we got here as favourite? We've got Noman Ludi, by the look of it, at 450, just ahead of Transcendent. Lisa Allpress heading down south to ride that at 550. Thoughts on this one, Neil? You're kind of committed to doing a bit of South Island form again. So hopefully you've done your study. I see Who Dares wins, second favourite actually at 5s. But what have you come up with in this one?
Yeah, initially I thought, well, I'm going to try and find a horse that's down on the weights, maybe with a same handles a heavy track. So that was my first thought. Then I went through the ratings and put the filter in with it. And the question was, give me the best performed horses on a heavy track, plus or minus 400 metres over the last 12 months. And the top 2 hits were Noman Ludi. I thought, oh, yeah, fair enough. I didn't follow South Island too much before lockdown, but went back and had a look at his runs. And it was outstanding form, for a race like this. He ran, I think, 5th in a Winter Cup behind some really good horses, better horses than these, on a heavy track, and then ran 3rd in the Classic a week later. Then came back and won on a heavy track over a mile here. So 450, maybe a bit short, but gee, it just stands out to me as a really good bet here. So no, it's a bit short. He might drift, but my thoughts anyway.
The compression of the weights is interesting. He's only 2 kilos above the minimum. So let's have a look here. I mean, under normal weight scale, he'd be giving all of those horses below him more than 2 kgs. But with the addition of the 100 rater Who Dares wins in the field. So on weights, you'd say Noman Ludi's the weight special, given, he's a rating 88 horse, and you've got ratings 71, 69, 68s in there who are only Transcendent, a rating 68, 20 points difference. That's normally a 10 kilo swing, and he's only giving horses like Transcendent 2 kilos.
That's a good point.
You might have come up with something, Neil. You might have to force. I wasn't going to have a bet at Riccarton tomorrow, but I might change my mind now.
Yeah. No, that was exactly the factor I looked at too. And when he won that mile race there, he carried 56 kgs, 1 kg of the minimum. And he's only 2 kgs over. And this is probably a slightly easier field. And Who Dares wins, goes well fresh, but prefers a dead or better track. He's won fresh up. He's won on a heavy track here, but they ran 140 for the 100 metres. So I'm thinking this is going to be a sort of a 144, 145 track. So no, I think 450 Kerry Moseley, and won't forget how to try and win anyway. So drawn nicely, settle about 6th. Everything seems to come up, from down south. Alice Winslow, top trainer, smart trainer.
There you go, listeners.
Well,
Let's get on to those. So, shall we do the sports selection straight off, Neil?
Yep,
get them out of the way.
Yep. This is for our multi for the Lucky Heads Up winner who will be announced shortly.
So, we'll start. You don't have to get the wallets out till Sunday afternoon for these 2 bets. The first one, the Crusaders, we like them against the Hurricanes, and I do like them against the Chiefs as well. Remember, the Chiefs did beat them in February back in Hamilton, and I think that will play on the Crusaders' minds. They'll be up for revenge. I think they're the stronger team, and I think just with the way the new rules have the rules have now been interpreted. They're not really new, but just a change of interpretation and the way they've been reffed. I think the Crusaders at this point in time are the smarter team to adapt to those rules. And they looked fresh. They looked hungry. They looked like they could have scored a lot more tries than they did against the Hurricanes. And first game at home, $1.87, minus 11.5 against the Chiefs. I think that's a good bet. So first bet, Crusaders minus 11.5. And that kicks off at 3:35. And then basically straight after that, you can switch over to the league. Manly Seagulls take on the Cronulla Sharks. Not a big fan of Cronulla this year. I think they've been struggling of late. Only just really fell in to beat the Dogs. Manly, a strong win against Canberra, and I like them to cover just the 3.5 point start against Cronulla Sunday afternoon. So Crusaders minus 11.5, Manly minus 3.5 being the Goats multi of the week.
Rightio, and that'll be the heads up multi. We'll find out who that is in a second. Just going back to these new rule changes, I remember not speaking, but hearing about a chap for the Phoenix Soccer Club who was the video analyst. Could go through and analyse each team, especially the Phoenix team, obviously, and other teams as well. The Crusaders must be into that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, every team has a video analyst. I know, basically, even club games and basically are videoed for the purpose of analysis. So, yep.
That's how good that analysis is. That's what you're looking for, aren't you? You want a good analyst.
Yep.
Get the right
Absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe the Crusaders have that.
Oh, I think, yeah, you got to say you don't win as many titles as the Crusaders do without very strong professional work ethic and ability. It's not just the players; it's the coaching staff, the management, the video analysts. It's like any organisation; you're only as good as your weakest link. So, yep. As much as that pains me to say that, Neil, but as we say, we're here to make friends. We're here to make money, not friends.
Yeah.
And you got to tip your hat to the Crusaders. They're a very professional outfit and just know how to win, it seems. And Razor Robertson, as a coach, he hasn't yet lost a Super Rugby title that he's competed for. So, pretty impressive record. So, yeah, maybe one day we should try and get a video analyst on the show to talk what they do in their time. Might be able to drag one of those out in time.
Yeah, it would be interesting, wouldn't it? Really interesting. If anyone knows someone who does that, let us know and try and get them on. Very interesting. Last week the question was, what was the horse that Nigel Tolley rode to win the Sydney Cup, wasn't it?
That's right, 1982, I think it was. It seems, Neil, that we must have an older viewership, because this would probably be the most popular question we've had in ages. 12 correct answers, is that right?
Yeah, I think maybe they're just still using Professor Google.
Maybe. Most of our questions are Googleable, though, but this one especially. So we've got to pick a winner between 1 and 12.
1 and 12, there you go.
Number 2.
Number 2, Nigel.
He's won before, hasn't he?
Not sure, I think he might have.
Okay,
well done, Nigel. The multi's on. We'll announce the multi now. It's on those 2 sports bets. So it'll be what? 38 times $1.80. Say $70 odd. So small fish taste sweet, but we need a multi up. So no pressure. Goat man, we need a couple of good bets on Sunday. So
we'll see how we go. This week's question.
Yep.
Riccarton Racing again. Unfortunately, they won't be running the Winter Cup this winter with the COVID situation. So we'll have a Winter Cup question. Since 2000, only one horse has won consecutive or back-to-back Winter Cups. And we want to know the name of that horse. It's about 7 or 8 years ago, give or take. So if you can remember that horse that went back-to-back in the Winter Cup, text or email your answers through to Neil by Tuesday, and you're in the draw for next week's multi.
027 352 6402 or formpro@formpro.co.nz. And I think Danielle Johnson wrote it in its first one. I think we were on that day, or the second time.
I think you were. I think it was paying. No, I think it was the first time, and I think it was about an $18 shot too, from memory.
Yeah.
First time.
I think I remember that.
I'll give you a clue. Actually, that's quite ironic, but we won't go down that path. One of the part owners one of the part owners then is still a top jockey in New Zealand. That's got you wondering. There you go. We won't won't give too much away. The Quaddy Syndicate, Neil, you got a bit of an update for us on that?
Oh yeah, we started with $9,684, and we now have, calculation was $6,601. And I said I would stop Syndicate after this weekend. We'll see how we go this weekend. And I thought about just spending enough to have a half payout, which I will do. If anybody wants to pull out after this weekend, let me know. Otherwise, we'll just keep going until we double the pot of 9,684. So we're about $19,000 or so, or we lose a lot. So it'll be double nothing until we reach the target. I'll put that on a website on Monday too. up out on that. And we've had some close calls. We struck 2 quaddies last week, got $3,000 back and $1,200 back. And all we want is just one more double figure price coming in to bump it up to more $5,000 payout. It's good fun though. I'm enjoying it.
I'm sure the people that put their money in are doing it more as much for the entertainment and sitting back and enjoying the ride, and any financial gain is almost secondary. So no pressure, Neil. You just keep doing what you're doing. People believe and trust in you, and trust the process, expect the results. I've heard that saying somewhere once or twice before.
Yeah. The theory is just to try and cover the realistic combinations and hope like hell we get 2 or 3 double figure winners in. So that's the plan anyway. Rightio. Quick bats and bouquets. You got a bouquet, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I guess we touched on it before, but just the attitude and the vibe of all the participants. Like Wanganui yesterday, I guess where I was, it just was a good feeling. Great to be on course. Everyone looked happy and to be there, and I think that's the thing, isn't it, Neil? What lockdown taught us is that you got to enjoy the things that you do, because when they get taken away from you, you suddenly miss them. So never take them for granted. The ability to go to a race meeting and enjoy the sport that we all love. So yeah, I just enjoyed my day there yesterday and seeing all the regular faces and people smiling and just happy to be back. And no, it was very good.
It was.
You're going to give us a bit of a lesson on PDF forms.
Well, yeah, I spoke to someone there during the week, and they said they really missed the form lines in the newspaper. And I said, well, you can always get them from the PDF form lines. I don't know where they are. I wouldn't know where to find them. And I said, man, there's just great information there. You just got to click it. You can save it to your computer or to your tablet and refer to it afterwards and after the meeting. And a heap of information there. He said, oh, shit, I didn't know that. So he's happy as Larry now. So I might do a short video of how to find those. And any other little things I can show you on the TAB website too. I might put up.
I got a question for you, Neil.
Yep.
You can come back. You can come back with the answer next week, because I don't think you'll know it.
What's that?
Who is Larry, and why was he always happy? I've asked that of a few people of late. I haven't had an answer, because I know a lot of people use that saying, as happy as Larry. But who was Larry?
Yeah, like Larry. I'll tell you what, there's a program.
Do you know? You don't know, do you?
I do.
You do know? Oh.
He comes from well, this is my theory anyway. There's a program on Netflix called Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
And there's this guy who's got to do all sorts of these crazy things, and he calls out, Larry, where are you, Larry? And there's no one there called Larry. He back to all of them, so it's funny.
Oh, well, I'm going to do my own research, because I don't know if that's the case, because I reckon that saying's been around for donkey's years. And where did donkey's years come from? We could go down this path, Neil, for a long way, but no. PDF. So yeah, basically, if you want a quick lesson, just go into the racing tab of the website, and then just below there, you've got today's racing results, pick 6 scratchings, more, click on more, and then you'll see future drop-down box, futures and challenges, PDF form, jackpots index. So you just click on the PDF form, and then you've got your one page, your extended, your mini forms, colors, so yep, that's where you find them all. If you like to have something printed out that you can write down and view without even being glued to your computer screen, that's one option for you now that the form isn't in newspapers, etc.
There's things like sorting the odds, so smallest to largest on each race, doing the favourites, those kinds of things some people may not be aware of. So I'll make a list of things I can do and do a short video of how to do those. So. Oh yeah, also I'd like to mention David's been busy. He's in partnership with me with the Form Pro rating side, and looks after my Form Pro side as well, the back end. He's got a new site out called sectionals.co.nz. There's a lot of the greyhound, harness and gallop sectionals in now for New Zealand gallopers. So go on there. Also racingpost.co.nz. A lot of videos he's doing there about all 3 codes. So check that out. And 50 Shades of Grey. Greys, 50, quite a clever name, 50 Shades of Greys, referring to greyhounds. We did a video during the week about Sunday program on greyhound racing, and got me thinking about how we could make greyhound racing safer, and we mentioned quite a few ideas on there as well. So,
And these are all free websites, Neil?
Yep. The sectionals one is at this stage, and probably till the end of July. And then, if people want to
see if it tickles your fancy, and obviously if you think the information is of value, you'll end up paying for it, and you'll be happy to do so.
A lot of time goes into it, so if it's not worthwhile financially, we won't do it. So it depends on subscribers. Just thinking, okay, what else have we got here? Oh, well, I was going to mention, like we mentioned Callum Jones before. We've got Cozzy only gets 1 kg off an air, but those 3 and 4 kg claimers are going to be gold, aren't they? That young lady who rode Chosen Peak yesterday, 3 kg.
Tamara,
yeah.
Yeah, Tamara. She's got potential. I think she's very well spoken young lady. Just needs a bit more confidence perhaps, but she's getting there. So good to see her get a win, and good to see our friend Mr. Goindasamy salute in the first race at Pookie on Saturday as well. He's another promising apprentice in the country.
Yeah, got up in the last drive. We're trying to get Ashman on one day too. He's a good fella. Probably one of the luckiest riders in the world, I reckon, after that.
I'll never forget that day.
Were you there that day?
Yeah, I was standing out on the stand. Seriously, that was not good when you watch that live. But if you remember, he was probably 3/4 of the way back in the field, and horse clipped heels, and he tumbled over and over, and about 4 or 5 horses went over the top of him, and you honestly thought the worst. But basically, he had a broken thumb and a chipped tooth. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing. I thought he was up near the front there, but they probably
maybe midfield, but yeah.
They've probably dropped the video now, haven't they? Wouldn't you?
Well, you can't. Yeah, they don't put that video up. That was the race that Justin Mays was going to win. Of course, when it was called a no race, and then it probably helped it. He ended up winning the Waikato Cup by not getting any extra rating points. But
it's
funny how things work out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's something else I was going to mention too.
Oh, I know what you've been waiting for. You're going to embarrass me in front of everyone.
How can I think of that? Well, last week we mentioned the guy thought he was pretty special.
No, I never said that.
Well, that's what we all have thought anyway. That's what we all think. You love your quizzes, and I know you
do
these quizzes, yeah. So I've got some questions here. One from a subscriber. I had another one too from another subscriber that I can't damn well find. So I'll learn my lesson. I'll copy and paste those questions. Okay, so Masters.
Is this a subscriber question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. I'll just bring it up here.
Okay.
Okay, this is from Paul. In '97, Tiger won in 1971, right?
Yeah, 12 shots.
Who ran second to him?
Tom Kite.
Half right, you're right. And
I'm pretty sure it was Tom Kite by himself.
Tom Kite, yeah. Well, he's got Tom Kite and Tom.
Not Tom Watson.
Tom Weiskopf.
Nah.
No?
Tom Kite ran second outright. Pretty confident of that.
Well done. Okay, I'll check it up too.
Well, check that one out, Paul. I think, that's a good question though. Yeah, no one remembers who ran second to Tiger when he won by 12 shots.
I remember watching that. That was amazing too. He looked so young, didn't he?
Oh, I remember that well actually.
Okay, in 2005, Tiger won in a playoff with who?
Yep, Chris DiMarco.
Very good. Okay.
That was 2005 was the last round, the 16th hole. That shot. What's the commentary? Remember, he put his tee shot off to the left, and then he chipped it up, and then it rolled back down the hill. Was it better than most? That was the call, wasn't it? It's better than most, and then it fell in the hole.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, he and Chris DiMarco battled out the 05 Masters. Yeah, I'm feeling good, Neil.
2 out of 2. Okay. This one's a fairly easy one. You might look at this one. Here's a Masters thing I found online. Name the youngest Masters champion. A multi-choice. A, Jordan Spieth. B, Seve Ballesteros. C, Tiger Woods.
It has to be Tiger Woods.
Yep. Right, 3 out of 3. Next one. Who was the last Masters champion to win wire to wire? A. Patrick Reed.
Jordan Spieth.
B. Jordan Spieth. C. The GOAT. No, Jordan Spieth. You're right. You're correct.
Jordan Spieth won. Yeah, not many. I think there's only 4 players that have won wire to wire in true, like outright leading in every round.
Amazing, eh?
Yeah, Spieth is the last. I don't know. I don't think Tiger did in '97 from memory. I don't think he was first round leader, but yeah.
Okay, who was the only player to lose the Masters in a playoff twice? A. Greg Norman. B. Chris DeMarco. C. Ben Hogan.
Not DeMarco.
Correct.
Norman lost to that chip Larry Mize.
That's right. Yeah.
And did he lose another playoff? I'll go Ben Hogan.
Correct. Very good.
Yeah.
I think I can't be stumped yet. Okay, this one will get you. Who played in the Masters the most times before winning? A. Sergio Garcia. B. Marco Mera. C. Phil.
Phil the Thrill Mickelson. The answer is Sergio Garcia.
You're not kidding, are you? Oh, yeah. Very
Is
good.
It was?
It is.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and lucky last. Oh, no, maybe. This could get you. Who has won the Masters the most times? A. Tiger Woods. B. Jack. C.
Jack won
Arnold
6.
Palmer. For Neil Davis. No.
Jack's 6, Tigers 5, Neil Davis is 0.
We've got to up these bloody questions.
Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. You ever been there?
No, one day.
Yeah.
We will get there.
Yeah. I got a friend who's been there, and he said that thing he remembers the most, every time you drop something or someone drops something, there's someone there to pick it up on the golf course.
Yeah. Everything, the drink, the food, everything is non-branded. So basically, it's like, it's hard to explain. They reckon it's just like a throwback in time, but there is not a single bit of rubbish. It is as pristine as you can get. Now, one day we will get there, Neil. That is definitely very high up on the bucket list. Hey, I tell you what, those listening today, we'll throw out the winner of the Travelers Championship. They've just completed the first round now.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to agree with me, Neil.
Muscle man.
Bryson DeChambeau is going to win. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I'm all in there. The only thing is, it's a shorter course, and he said it to a longer course. But geez, if he can nail those par 5s and turn those par 5s into par 4s, that's where he's going to win. So yeah, Bryson
he's five off the lead after the first round, but he's worth a bet. He's playing well. Yeah. He might not be the most inspiring man to go and have a beer with, but yeah, you're not doing that. You're backing him to win a golf tournament, and I think he can do that. He's in the right vein of form and just nicely positioned off the leaders, and he'll be hard to beat over the weekend, I'm picking.
One more question for the Masters that I'm asking this one.
Okay.
What is the name of the place where the rookie players stay at the Masters?
Oh, no, that has got me.
Two words.
Nah.
One's a bird.
One's a bird.
Second word's a nest.
Oh, the Boars? No, not the Boars. That's the Dukes of Hazzard. I was thinking of the Boars Nest. That's the pub in the Dukes of Hazzard. No, what is it?
Start with C, the Crow's Nest.
Crow's
Nest.
Crow's Nest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where all the rookies stay.
Well, here's one for you, Neil. What's the name of the room where they do the presentations after the Masters?
The green room?
No, not the green room.
Green jacket room?
No.
The steward's office? The steward room? I don't know.
No.
What's it called?
Isn't it called the butler's cabin or what is it? I think it's butler's.
Probably.
It's definitely, what is it? Butler's cabin? Butler cabin. Yeah, Butler cabin. Yeah. That's where they do, the previous year's champions sitting there with the winner and the winner of the amateur and the president of the Augusta National Golf Club.
Yeah.
And they do the presentation. Butler cabin. There you go.
They must have half a dozen different size jackets, don't they? I suppose sitting there and must try beforehand. So
depending, yep, who
Always
wins it.
fits. Always fits, doesn't it?
What's my favourite Masters question of late that I see what I can think of that traps a few people? Here's one for you. It's quite recent, actually. When Sergio Garcia won his Masters,
Yeah.
he won in a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember who he beat?
He was against.
Yeah, well, that's the question.
Wasn't the older fella?
No, the older fella.
No?
You're thinking of Cabrera.
Cabrera, yeah. No, wasn't it?
No. Cabrera lost to Bubba. Bubba in a
What's on
playoff.
the, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Who
when
was it?
Bubba. Justin Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Cabrera beat Kenny Perry and Chad Campbell. Gee, we're getting off topic here, in a playoff. And then I think he lost to Bubba when Bubba hit that miraculous banana shot from in the bushes on the 10th hole to, I think that was the second hole of the playoff.
Yeah.
But no, good memories. And as we said last week, November, there will be a Masters, assuming the world doesn't revert back into a state of lockdown or outbreak or whatever. And so,
geez, the way it's going, it may not be on. Getting sidetracked again, but what the biggest ever number of cases the other day. So.
Well, as long as they take all the precautions they can.
Yeah.
So no, interesting times, Neil. So here's a pop question for you.
Far away.
As I think we talked about at last week's podcast, went to that first 15 schoolboy rugby game on the weekend, Wanganui Collegiate v New Plymouth Boys.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it. It was real good. Actually,
I enjoyed it too.
It was bloody full of racing people there. Had a good chat with Lisa All-Press. Her son plays in the second 15 and caught up with her. But on that note, the fullback for Wanganui Collegiate is an amateur jockey who's won a race and was playing fullback. So a pretty multi-talented sportsman. Who would that be?
Any dummy can answer that one. Crikey, it'll hit me. Okay, no, it's a good one. So if someone can answer that question, let us know. And if you got some more,
I want you to answer. Do you know the answer? You think you know the answer?
Luke, is it Luke?
Luke Myers, dummies ball.
Luke.
Yeah, he rode a winner last year, at least one, maybe two or three, before he hurt his arm, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a good little player. Obviously being a jockey, he's not going to be a John Olomu type athlete, but no, he was pretty gritty and attacked the line. We kind of gave him the name Christian Cullen throughout the game, so got a bit of skill there. So yeah, that was quite a bit of interest for you, that someone who's an amateur jockey and is also a first 15 rugby player. That wouldn't happen too much in the world these days.
Yeah, amazing talented family. Terrific. Okay, so give me some more questions. We'll do a Masters one again the next week, unless you've got another topic you wanted to try, but you're specialist area you like us to be racing? Something in racing?
Oh, mate, anything in racing from the, I don't know, 87, 88 onwards.
Let's do a Cups quiz. Something about Cups, Wellington Cups, Auckland Cups. Make it a Cups quiz, so that'll be the theme next week. Okay.
Jeepers. Well, I think we had a pass mark on the Masters, so
definitely. That was impressive, no? And I can assure you we had no cheat notes in front of them.
No.
Well done. That's great, man. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch up next week, and hopefully we've made another dollar